Nothing. How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Good. I'm so excited
Yeah, let's do
to
it.
have you on as a guest here. I love your account. I
Thank
love
you.
your shades, your look.
I appreciate it. Right now, for some reason, I was on a podcast yesterday, and my eyes just are like super sensitive. Like I have no idea what happened in the last like 24 hours. But
Is the ring light?
I'm now forced to wear these glasses, so I can't ever take them off.
Well, they're a good look, so it works. It works.
What's up, man? What's up,
So,
Kaylee? How's it going?
hi everyone. So, yeah, I thought this would be like super just have a few questions for you. I think it'll be fun to hear about you because obviously you have content that a lot of people are into and I love what you're doing. So yeah, just like a little interview kind of thing. And anyone
Yeah.
watching, I mean, if you have questions and everything, comments, feel free to drop those in the chat for sure. But I guess to get started, I'd just love to know, like, how did you get started in this space? Like, when was the first time you were introduced to like NFTs or Web3 or crypto?
Yeah, the crypto world, I think, I forget exactly when. It was definitely a few years ago. My first ever intro to crypto actually was in 2017 or 2016 when I didn't get into it at that point, but it was in a public speaking class, and this super sketchy, super lanky kid comes up. He's like, didn't talk at all. He's back at the class and like, okay, he's gonna do a speech, and he comes on radiating fucking confidence and just starts talking about Bitcoin. And I remember at the end, we were all just like, yeah, no.
Like, what are you talking
No,
about?
absolutely not. And it was funny because that guy actually resembled my college roommate who was like big onto like the Silk Road, big onto like the. It was sketchy back then. It was very sketchy back then. So I had this like terrible idea of what it was. And then after it was probably maybe 2019 or so when I got into like the crypto investing sphere, and then I think the end of 2019, we accidentally invested into Dogecoin as a joke of a TikTok meme thing.
No.
Yeah, so we invested a few $100s at like 0.0000001 or
Wow.
something ridiculous. And then in the middle of 2020 or 2021, I forget when the big ramp up was, when the big bull run, I think it was 2021. And my friend called me, he's like, dude, do you have Robinhood? And I was like, Robinhood? And I was like, I think so. And he was like, bro, open your account. And I opened it, and there was just like so many thousands. I was like, oh my fucking, I was like, what do we do? What do we do?
Tell me you sold. Tell me you
So
sold.
I actually followed Journey Crypto's exit plan strategy, which was dollar cost 10% out every time it goes up a certain amount. So I was totally out of Dogecoin by 60 cents. I think it got up to like 69 or 70 cents. So I was very happy. I pulled out almost all the money there. So I was really, really happy about that. I mean, like at every like 10 second or every 10 cents, I was just like in disbelief. It was like 10 cents, 18 cents, 23 cents. I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is happening. And like the money's rising at an exponential level.
Yeah.
So that when that happened, I was like, okay, fuck it, crypto's. I'm in. I'm all in on crypto. So I literally pulled all my money out of my Roth IRA, or any kind of retirement, any stocks. I pulled 100% of it out, and I dove into the crypto world for content. I just was like, let me just learn everything. And then when NFTs came about, I think it was in May or June when I first introduced to it. I was watching Journey Crypto and Alex Becker and Elliot Trades, and one of them kept mentioning Bored Apes a couple times, and I didn't know enough about it. I was just still trying to like become an expert at crypto, and I was just like, man, I don't have time for these stupid pictures. These are such a waste. Like, no. And so I just completely looked over it. I didn't even look at the page. I assume at that point it was like 1 or 2 ETH. And so yeah, missed the Bored Apes, missed a lot of the OG projects. At that point, I was in the space though. I was kind of obsessed. I was living in my car, and so I was living in my car traveling, and literally in the middle of a trip, I was about to drive into a national park, and I finally was like, let me just see what OpenSea is. So I just went out, I pulled over on the side of the highway, and just pulled out my phone, and then 7 hours later, I like looked up from my phone, and I was like, oh shit. And so I was hooked, totally hooked. And then, yeah, I just started doing DJ mode for a few months, and then I started making content about it, so.
Cool. Oh my God, that's so funny. I feel like that's how a lot of people get started, kind of. They hear about it and they're like, okay, like kind of sketchy. Then like the second or third time, you're like, oh, you know what? Let me look into this a little bit. And then, of course, it's like rabbit hole. Oh, that's awesome about Dogecoin. That's so funny that's like, that's kind of what got you into it, really.
Literally, yeah. It's like a joke. I have a shirt. That I still own. I think it's in my parents' house, but I still own it as like a memorabilia piece. I'm just like, that literally saved my ass, because that also was my launch pad into traveling in a car, because I was like, well, I have all this money now, and I wanted to go travel and like take my life in my own hands and go after my destiny and all this shit. And I was like, now I could just do it right now. I should just try it. And so
That's
shout out
awesome.
Dogecoin.
Thank God your friend saw it. Hey, can you imagine if you just totally missed that?
I know. I never would have known it. He sent me the TikTok, and it was like, if everyone buys 1 cent of this, then we go to 25. And I was like, that sounds like a horse. That sounds like horse shit. And he was like, just
Yeah.
do it. And I was like, whatever.
That's amazing. I never heard someone who like that kind of story. I've heard people that like in the thick of it tried to like
Yeah.
get on it or whatever. But yeah, that's awesome. That's so funny. So now that you're kind of like obviously now in the NFT space as well, what about an NFT project? Like when you're seeing a new project maybe or one in the past, what aspects get you like really excited about it? Is it like the artwork or is it like what aspects for you?
So it depends on what angle you're going in for. For me as an investor,
Mhm.
well, back in my DJing days, it didn't really matter about anything. It was about the narrative that other people were buying into. So I was
Right.
more focused on what other people were thinking about it, and so I was doing a lot of recon, asking other people in Discords what people thought about this project. Everyone was super excited about it, and the market was good. And then if I didn't get whitelist or if I wasn't able to mint, I would just keep track on one of those websites and see the listings versus the sales. If there's a lot of listings, but if you're not looking at a DGen mentality and you're looking to just be like more of an investor or you're just excited about a project, for me, the number one thing is the founder. I want to see what they're about and see what the team behind
Mm.
it, what they're trying to do. If it's not anything particularly moving emotionally for me, then like usually I'm not interested. So if I'm able to connect with the founder, like I was able to become friends with like Frankie and Dan with Coolman and SupDucks, and so now those projects mean something more, even though they already meant something. Because the Coolman universe was an extension of Dan's personality and mental health and pushing all that stuff, and he's built that brand for a few years. So I already loved the brand. I loved him. He's always online talking and he's pushing his brand and all that stuff. So I liked him for that. And then when we became friends, I was like, okay, now like I'm definitely in. So I definitely look at the founders to see what they're about. And then after that is probably the artwork. I mean, I do need to like the artwork somewhat, but it's not the
Mhm.
most important thing. If I'm going to hold one token, then I'll usually spend a little bit extra to like find one that I really love so I can hold it
Yeah.
forever as kind of like a friendship token thing. But I look at it very differently. Like I don't know how you look at NFTs, but for me, they're definitely more of a not networking. Networking sounds super weird, but like a friendship token kind of thing where it's like I support them, like a supportive thing.
Yeah.
But that's usually where I'm looking for NFTs. I'm not doing too much DGen behavior anymore.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's the same as me. It's really, I like what you said about the founders too. For me, the biggest thing I would say is the founders, because at the end of the day, that is what you're investing in. Like, you know, the
Yeah,
people that founded it, making sure the community is good vibes for sure. It's the word. You go to a
yeah,
Discord and it's just like bots and like insane people. You're like, okay, maybe not
yeah,
for me. But yeah, I like that too. It's a lot about the community. And then, especially if you're planning on holding long term and being part of that community, it's like friendship. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Um, if you could have any NFT ever just airdrop to you right now, what would it be and why? Like maybe it's like for the utility or just like to be part of the
Mm.
community.
Oh man, it would either be Iman Gadzhi's. He has like an NFT that's like it's like a membership to his community or something, and he's just a certified badass dude, and
Yeah,
the connections would be wild. So it would either be that, or I would simply just get a Bored Ape Yacht Club and flip it in 5 seconds. That would probably
I
be
know
good
that's the
too.
thing. There's so many that would be such a good investment. You kind of just got to go for that, but
Well, if I got the
it's well
Bored
said.
Ape, I would flip it and then go buy projects that I want to buy. Like I would just use all
Good
that money. I'd
point.
probably buy a War of Women. I'd probably
Yeah,
buy a cool cat. Just projects I've wanted to be in forever that I just don't feel like forking over $20,000 for. And
yeah,
just to be like in there, just be in their fam. That probably would be what I would do because I don't really have an interest in the Bored Apes, especially after missing the boat. I mean, anything over
yeah,
like 5 ETH for a project like that, unless there's something very inherently special about the brand, which in my opinion there isn't too much that's going on there. It's just the
yeah.
hype. And
Just yeah, it's a
so
lot of hype. It's one
yeah,
people are most known. If you don't know that much about NFTs, you still kind of know Bored
yeah,
Apes.
it is one of those projects, and I said it like 6 months ago. I was like, look, unless the founders start coming out and being more open about who they are, they're one footstorm away from dismantling their entire reputation because people don't really like them. They just want to be in them because it's hype, and so
Yeah,
they don't have anything particular about their brand that's like, oh, that's so cool. There's not, they don't have that, or they probably do. They just haven't talked about it. I'm like, what are y'all doing? You
yeah.
guys have so many eyes on you. Why don't you have a podcast already? It's like frustrates me why they haven't done more because now they had that one footstorm with the racism thing, and I'd say like 30% of people are like completely turned off to it. I'm like, wow. they could have prevented all of that if they had just been a little bit more open. They have the one interview with what's her name from the Yuga Labs CEO, one of them. But it was like a very formal style interview. They couldn't really get into who she was, what she really cared about. It was very formal, and I was just like, man, they're just missing so many opportunities here. But who knows?
Yeah, I agree. It's like a slippery slope, right? It's so interesting because I feel like that's so the opposite of other NFT projects where it's like the community and like super transparent and the founders are like in the Discord and interacting and stuff, which like that's what people like. So it's so interesting that, I mean, they're still obviously doing well, but I think you're right. They're kind of on that like, you know, they're riding their hype right now. It doesn't mean it's going to last forever if they don't do anything to, you know, create the brand and help, like be involved in the community and everything. So
yeah, and I've asked some people around too. I'm like, what do you guys think of Bored Apes take away the hype? And they're like, well, like how I'm gonna say like 50% would say it's still gonna make it. It's the Amazon, and then 50% are literally like, no, it's Yahoo. It's going away in 5 years. Like, and so I'm very torn. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I would if another project swap places with them, like if Coolman's Universe, for example, I'm just using it as an example because their founder is so good at building that brand and his personal brand too. If they swapped over with Bored Apes and Coolman was now the number one, I'd have no problem saying that'll be here because that brand is like unshakable. It's a brand that's like super strong and it's been built for years before NFTs. But with Bored Apes, it kind of came out of nowhere. So I'm very interested to see. I'm a creator. We're both creators, so it doesn't really matter for us. We're just here to watch and cover it. So I'm down for whatever. Like if it crumbles down or if it goes to the moon, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's just interesting to watch, right? I like that either the Amazon or the Yahoo because I could see it being the Yahoo as well.
I can see it being both, and I could definitely see it being Yahoo. I would be interested to see how it becomes Amazon because they don't sell anything other than just more NFTs. So I'm very interested to see what they do with all this money.
I think a lot of it too, it's very like, you know, a lot of celebrities have it. So you feel like, you know, the average person would spend a lot of money on it just to even be in that community and have that like flex. But that's the thing, it's all hype. So when that wears off or when people are like, okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
Then what's the point? Or like how like tempting would it be to just sell then? Because you're like, well, what am I getting really?
Not cool. Yeah, if it becomes not cool, then it's like, shit. You know, there's a lot of projects that did that. There's a lot of projects that had a lot of hype. And after a few months, people are like, you know what? It's actually not that cool. Let me just sell it for a loss. And that happens way more than people think. It happens probably like way more than people think. I've done it before. I know all my friends have done it before. There's been many projects, but we were very happy to be there. And 4 months later, we're like, man, fuck. Why did I buy that? Like, why did I buy that? It's not actually that awesome. I don't actually care. And it's hard. You have to self-audit yourself a lot.
Yeah, and then you can even though you're at a bit of a loss, like you can put that towards maybe something else that you're more excited about or whatever. There's always something new. There's so many projects. Do you believe, wait, maybe let me not skip questions. That's kind of my last question I'm going to ask. But what is something that you don't like about like Web3, crypto, NFT industry?
I would say the narrative that was being pushed for a while that's more or less sort of debunked is the idea that Web3 is so different than Web2 because it's really not. Right now, at least. Gary Vee made a video, I think yesterday or the day before, where he explained it in just like the best way ever. He just somehow always lays it out exactly how it needs to be said. He's like, we're more of like in a Web 2.5, which made way more sense to me. Because it is right now. It's either people who have no idea what they're doing, or it's everyone who knows what they're doing, but they don't know anything about Web3. And so people come in with they're either an artist or they have a cool idea, but zero business structure, no product, no way to make income, no revenue streams, no sponsorships, no partnerships. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. That's going to last 3 months, and then it's going to fade because people don't care. And then we have the Web 2.0 people who have all the business structure, but they don't understand anything about personal branding, which personal branding is everything in Web 3. And so there's just like in between here, which is like people who are building their personal brand, talking about their message, also having a product or some kind of income revenue stream that isn't just more NFTs, and they understand both. So they have a team of business people and artists. And right now, we're not seeing a whole lot of that. The ones that are winning. I mean, the ones that have both, they're crushing it. And they're not crushing it as much as they should be because I don't think that the market's ready to accept that. The market's still in hype mode. So whatever just comes out of nowhere, people are still down for that. There will be a point where that's not as big of a thing. Like right now in crypto, you know, if a new coin comes out, nobody gives a shit. Nobody even knows about it. And NFTs, if a new thing comes out and everyone's excited, most people hear about it because it's so small. And so there will be a point where crypto, it becomes sort of like crypto. I mean, we're already seeing it, like with in the NFT world, Bored Ape Yacht Club's at the top where the Bitcoin is. and Ethereum is probably punks and something like in the Yuga Lab system, and then there's just everybody else. So I think for me, the one thing I don't like is it's the dream being so high, and the realistic dream of where I still think it's dope is probably closer to here, where it's like, yes, you have this idea, you can make this product, you can make all this money and funding and create your life. I just think that people have this dream that's way higher, and they think that a cool idea is enough to raise $2 million. And the issue is, even with $2 million, you're just gonna run out. Like, you're literally just gonna run out. You're gonna have to give a third of that to taxes, and then you're gonna have like 1.6 million. And then at that 1.6, you're going to pay yourself probably too much. You're going to invest too much money in something that doesn't need to be invested in. You're not going to hire the right people. And in a year, the dream is gone. And I just see that happening for a lot of people. And I'm kind of sad about it because it's great. And if they knew how to allocate their money better, they could actually make it work. I'm just not looking forward to when all these projects with people that I know, friends, start to lose all their money. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for them, And I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to that, but it's natural. It's what's going to happen. You make all that money, but then there's the other side where you lose all that money. And if you didn't do all the things in between that's going to make you go up, then you're going to lose it. And so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I agree. That's the whole thing. Like, there's so many. I mean, it is like small. There's not that many projects, but there is a lot of projects at the same time. It's hard to what really, even if you have a good idea, it's like a lot of people have a good idea and think it's going to be the next big thing and everything, but not every project can survive. I think that we're in such like a unique time right now. I think in a few years we'll definitely look back at this like booming kind of, the shitcoin phase, all these projects, like holy crap, there was so much going on.
You look at the past couple bull markets and you're like, wow, that was such a crazy time. And that was just a few months ago. Like, literally, I have videos from like 4 months ago where I'm like, wow, that was happening literally 150 days ago. Holy shit. And you look back, you're like, that is wild. And then another thing with the Web 3 world that's a little bit concerning is oh shit, what was it? I had it in my head like 2 seconds ago. I can't even remember what I was gonna say. I don't. Fuck yeah, I have no idea what I was gonna say. But hey, what's up, Matt? How's it going, dude?
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, I feel like I was like same time. 2019 is when I kind of got into the crypto world, and even just looking back at like the markets. It's only been a few years, but it seems like it's like stretched over time. Yeah, that last like, what was it, like November, I think, last year? Just crazy looking back at that. I'm like, some screenshots of my phone and stuff that I've saved. I'm like, holy shit. Like, it kind of just like happens, and I don't get very emotional about the market at all. I just like, whatever, look at it. But then you look back, you're like, oh my God, like that happened like so recently, and we're here. Like, it's just always keeps you on your toes.
It does. It's fun. Like, for me, it's fun. And I think anyone who's not making content, it's sad. I feel bad for you. Like, if you're making content and if you're in the NFT world specifically and you're not making content about it, then I really don't understand what your play is here. Like, for example, if you went to NFT NYC and you don't have content creator friends, I don't know what the fuck you did there, because it's not fun without friends there. I don't know what you did, because you show up and there's all these, you probably paid $1,000 for the conference, which that sucks if you did. And you went to all these dead interviews, dead little talks by these 1,500 speakers that went. And I'm like, that would not have been fun if you showed up without people you knew, unless you're very extroverted and you're okay with other people rolling with big groups and you're not in a big group. Then it's tough. Like, I don't know what you would have done if you didn't have friends. If I didn't have all my YouTuber and TikTok and content creator friends there that I was excited to go meet, then I would have showed up by myself, and I would have probably gone to 1 or 2 events that I could have maybe gotten into. And that would have been it. Like, I don't know what I would have done. So if you're not making content, the world is small right now still on TikTok. There's probably 100 creators that I'm even aware of. And out of that 100, there's probably 40 that I talk to. And I'm like, there's no barrier to entry for TikTok. Anyone can just pick up their phone right now.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm in the NFT world now. I'm ready to go. Like, let's chat, let's connect or something. And on TikTok, there's no weird follower ratio thing, followers and following.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And so I just love the TikTok arena, and I think it's such a waste if you're not making content. It's so easy to make content on TikTok.
It is. It's crazy. Like, it really is. Like you said, anyone can pick up their phone and start doing it. It's crazy that people aren't. Like, this is such a insane opportunity. I think a lot of people think they're like late to the game or something, but we're still in the grand scheme so early. So it's funny that people still think that. It's such a cool thing. And I feel like most of, Web3 NFTs and everything, it is about community and like connecting with people, and like that's the cool thing. So hopefully,
yeah,
if anyone's watching, I think a lot of people still even have TikTok, but are just like observers, very like they don't actually post or reach out to people. But like you have nothing to lose. It's
I know.
awesome.
Well, I mean, I've wanted to be a YouTuber since I was like 10. Like I've been making videos on my main channel since 2009, and so I've been doing it for a long time. I've always wanted to be it, but at this point, I'm like, it almost makes logical sense for you to go and try and do it. It's just so simple, and I know YouTube's a bit different. YouTube's a lot more work. You have to worry about search engine optimization. You got to worry about thumbnails. You got to worry about all these other things, and so TikTok's just a little bit easier. But also, like something that people maybe not know that I'll just say now, which may help someone onboard themselves right now, is that I have friends in the NFT space that I just met a month ago, and I've been here since like September or something, and started making TikTok content. And I've been here in September or so when I started making YouTube content. I have friends from September, and I have friends from February, and I have friends from literally May that I met. All of them at NFT NYC, and I'm like, if you make cool, fun videos that are engaging, or they're particularly emotionally, like I don't know, emotionally good, where I'm like, okay, let's watch this video. Then I can watch 5 or 6 videos and be kind of hooked on your brand, and I can want to meet you. And I think that can be anybody. You don't have to make videos for 6 months to be noticed. You can make 2 videos and be noticed. It's possible. It probably won't happen, but it's possible. You know,
it is possible. And with TikTok, it's almost like I always say TikTok's a bit of a numbers game in the sense of if you just keep posting, like people are going to see it. Exactly. Like the more you post, the more you put yourself out there, you're going to be seen by someone that is interested and someone that connects with you, and it's going to lead to something if you keep doing it. It's just a matter of time, kind of. So I say post your content, and it's fun. Like it's fun to post about things that you're interested in and learn more from other people. It's like a whole new world that gets opened up when you start doing that.
And you can create a job. Like this, it's the job market for me. That's just like, wow, what are you doing? Like, I don't know if you're making content or if this is your TikTok account, but like I have 4 or 5 companies right now knocking on my door for content creation for them. And it's not even a lot of work. It's not that many hours. I still can post everything on my channel. And I'm like, fuck, I could do this, or I could go get a job at a grocery store and make $9 an hour and forfeit all my time and lose all my leverage, or you can spend 6 months and, in spite of your part-time or full-time job, continue making content. I know almost everyone on TikTok I know has a job, and they still make content. I'm like, you can do it. You just don't want to. It's all priorities. So just make the content. You can literally go from a job that you don't even like to like right now, for example, Katie. She made a video that went viral, and then she continued to make helpful videos. She learned all her shit that she needed to do. She took advantage of the opportunity. She went from working at a marketing firm, which I'm sure she liked, but she didn't love it, to working, I think, 6 months later, being hired at Ledger as a main core member. She just went to NFT NYC as a core member and helped set up their whole event. And now she's crushing it because now she works at Ledger. And for a narrative standpoint, other people look and go, oh, shit, that's that badass girl who makes a lot of TikTok content. She connects all these people. She works at Leisure. You can check out her whole story on her TikTok account. I'm like, oh my God, that could literally be anybody. That could be anybody.
You don't need a degree anymore. It's like that. It's like networking is everything. Well, TikTok literally changed my life. I do content for this account. I work, Web3M is like our project that I work with, but I do all the social media for it. And then I have my other account, Socially Kelsie, where I have a big following on there that I started like 2 years ago. And that's like became my full-time thing. I do like social media marketing tips, creator tips, monetization and stuff. And then it's now at the point I'm building out a social media, my own agency now. I never went to college.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah. Like I never went to college. I was like doing dance companies. I was like ballet and like, you know, totally not anything to do with this. I started a TikTok account and it's completely changed everything. I've now, creator friends, got me into this position where now I get to work in Web3, which is so cool. Like, just the opportunities that you never even knew were there. All of a sudden, show
the
up.
most random people. I went to an NFT NYC. I went to the Hape event, which I don't even like. I don't even have a Hape Beast NFT. My friend knew somebody. I knew someone. I was able to get in, and in that house, I met the guy who owns all the TikTok hype houses in LA.
Oh, really?
And he's like, I was like, wait. I was like, hold on, you own them? You're like 30. He's like, dude, yeah. And he like shows me all these photos and videos. He's like, hang out with David Dobrik, and I'm like, wait, what? I was like, what the fuck is happening?
That's
it's like,
awesome.
yeah, bro, like I just got into the Web3 world. I'm so happy to be here. Just like meet people. And he's like, let's connect. And I was just like, in what world would this ever happen? Would I have not even the opportunity, the place where like someone in that stature is able to come into a new industry and us be level? Like this guy has millions and millions and millions of dollars all these connections, yet in the Web3 party we were right here. And it's just crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people you'll meet that you never would meet, especially in content. I know multiple people who are followed by Paris Hilton. I'm like, what the fuck?
She's awesome. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with her.
It's crazy. So
yeah, it's so cool. Going into my last question, what is your prediction, or what do you think of when you think of how Web3 will be in the future, or how NFTs will be in the future? Because like we're kind of talking, the phase that we're in right now is so kind of strange and cool, but obviously it's not going to stay like this forever. Like, what is your prediction of how that will look, let's say like 10, 20 years?
Well, I mean, you can literally zoom out a little bit right now and see a baby version of what this looks like in almost like a, what's it called? Like a terrarium or something. Like you're almost like looking down into the world from outside perspective. Like you can see we went from what even is an NFT? Like literally a year ago, I had no idea. I was like, oh, it's a picture thing that for some reason people buy. Okay. And then people were like, oh, but it's like a video game. You buy guns in the game that you like, you'll pay real money. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then you go to this other world, like, oh, there's art pieces you can sell. And like that's for me what mine is. Like I have like 50 NFTs. They're all art pieces. They're not like a project. It's more supporting a creator. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, you can do that, which is cool. And then other artists got in. Oh, I can make money selling online. And they're like, well, it's no different than you going on New York City. Like if you went to NFT NYC, you saw all those artists in the street selling their art. You know, maybe I have no idea if they're making money or not, but I guarantee you can make 100 times more selling it online, or at least you can do both. You could be on the street doing nothing and making TikTok videos of you on the street selling your art. You could probably sell something like that. Like I've made sales on just singular TikToks. I'll just make a TikTok talking about it, and someone will say, "I didn't even know you had an NFT project. I'm gonna go buy it," and it's because they didn't know. And so what I think is gonna happen is it goes from what is it to like, oh, that's kind of cool, to oh, I can do that, to being like, oh wait, it's so easy now because other people are gonna come in who understand business. They're gonna make a service that makes it easy for someone to onboard themselves. They come in, they go, oh, I can make a project. Then they realize how hard it is. And then another company comes in to make it easier for them. And then we have this new economy that comes out. And so I think in a few years, it's going to be just like social media, where at the beginning, in like I don't know when it started for me. I think it was like 2013 to 2015 is when I started getting into it, like on Instagram. And at that point, there was no influencers yet. There was like 5. It was like Bradley Martin. Who was that girl? That girl who was like the body girl. I forget what her name was. Jen Selter. She was like Jen Selter, like the fitness people. There's like 3 fitness people. There was like a couple business people, but it wasn't like a thing. And then you fast forward a year, everybody and their grandma's like uncle is a creator on Instagram. And then Instagram fades, and then a new company comes in. And so I think it'll be very much like that. NFTs will be this thing. It'll be on Ethereum. Everyone jumps on Ethereum. Now there's Solana, there's Cardano, there's all these other things. And now the artists found Polygon. And I think it'll just become that. Everyone will just be like, oh, I want to make NFTs. You're already seeing that. Like I have people that don't know anything about NFTs or Web3 that are like, oh, I'm an artist though. I can sell my art. And I'm like, yes, you could. But you have to just build an online social media brand. They're like, oh, well, I can do that. I understand social media. And so I think it'll just become easier access to everybody. And a lot of the projects, I don't know what the projects will do. I mean, like we had Cool Cats throw an event. We had Doodles throw an event. I'm sure that costed well over 6 figures to throw an event in New York. And I don't, unless they've got secured funding from a VC or a product that is generating them income every month, they're going to run out of money at some point. So I'm like, okay, so as long as they can build their IP, get signed by Sony or something, and some company just buys their IP or gets a percentage of their IP, a lot of those projects will fade, even the top ones. And so we're either going to see a cascade of just projects that people are excited about that just drop off and everyone loses their money, or a couple of them survive and end up going straight up to the moon, and we make, out of 10,000 people, maybe 4,000 of those people become multi-millionaires. They sell their money, they go start a project. So I think a lot of money will come into the system, and I think, unfortunately, it'll become, what's it called, like, what's the fucking word, capitalism. Why am I forgetting the word? Capitalism? Yeah. It'll become capitalized, whatever that word is.
Right.
Everyone will come in. It's already starting. So I think if the bigger you can build your personal brand and get people to fuck with you, I think the better off you'll be, and the higher chance you'll have at kind of like being someone. I think without a doubt, you should be trying to be someone. Everyone's trying to be someone on Instagram right now, but they're pretending they're not trying to be that. And with NFTs, everyone's trying to just do their thing. And I'm like, no, you should be putting 200% effort into making yourself be very different. That way, in 5 years, when all the retail and all the people are in, you're actually somebody. And then you won't even have to try at that point. You'll just be that person. You'll be the OG YouTuber. Like if you look at the crypto YouTubers who are OG now, there's like 10 maybe. And they're the ones that stuck around during all the bear markets, and they survived. And so all the new people found them. All the old people found them because they've been with them forever. And I think that's going to be how it goes, something like that. Yeah. But who knows? It could die. It also could just completely crumble.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. I
How about
actually have
you?
another call to jump on, but this was really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you
Hell
so
yeah.
much for coming on and being one of our featured guests. Yeah, we'll be in touch. Maybe we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm definitely on talk. Well, maybe we'll bring up my channel. It was
Yeah,
great talking to you. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to
awesome.
know more about what your thoughts are too. So we'll try to get you on my channel.
For sure. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
Have a good day.
Bye. Thanks so much for
Bye.
being here. Bye.